there, adventurers, and welcome back to another episode of the Awkward Dungeon Master. This week, I want to talk to you guys about my experiences running and playing on Roll20. So, I've been running a game on Friday nights, which you may have seen some content from up on the channel. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Please let me know. If you're not enjoying it, I won't put that kind of stuff up, but if you are, I will continue to make it. There are times, if you've watched any of those, where you can tell I'm on the struggle bus. I am not a technologically inclined person, and something I did not know about Roll20 when we first started, which caused an additional slew of issues for me, was that everything is very resource intensive on the DM's computer. As you can see, I have a laptop, and it's a few years old. So it has really struggled to run with Roll20, especially when I'm trying to do some of the more dynamic things. My computer does not like dynamic lighting. I've heard it's super cool, it sounds really cool, but my computer can't handle it. So we haven't been playing with dynamic lighting. I just reveal the areas of the map that my players can see as they move through their dungeons. I will say this, that is a stupidly, intense program setup that they have on Roll20. I can put playlists set for whenever I move the characters from one map to another to start. So each map can have its own individual playlist. And again, we have issues with that too because a couple of my players don't have headsets. So we get a lot of feedback noise whenever there's stuff playing on Roll20. So we haven't been using music for a while now just because it created a lot of weird sounds and echoing and stuff like that. But it was super cool, and if everyone had a headset, I would definitely utilize that. It does make my computer slug a little bit, but I think it's well worth it. And I will say this, as somebody who is not technologically inclined, it took me forever to figure out some of the stuff on Roll20. So if you are starting the game online and you're struggling, you are not alone. It's a freaking nightmare for people who don't have a lot of computer skills, and I've learned a lot even just running the channel and editing my own videos. But again, my laptop doesn't super love editing videos either, because that's also resource intensive. So one of these days, we have to update this poor child. It's been really nice to run on Roll20, and I will also say this, I am running a pre-made adventure that I've run before, and that has really helped my learning curve. So if you think you're going to struggle your first time on Roll20, go ahead and run a module that you've already run. The other nice thing is, and I did this because stuff is harder for me to learn on computers, they had a map pack available, like a companion set that you could purchase where all the maps were pre-made for you and already to scale. It made all your tokens and everything like that. So definitely do that if you have the money and the option. It has helped me quite a bit. So I can focus on learning some of the mechanics of how to run the game and less on building it beforehand so that I can put more time into actually learning how to navigate the entire system. I would definitely recommend that. If it is your first time running a game on Roll20, it's been very helpful for me. Another thing you guys definitely need to know about is there's a token website. So if you guys go to rolladvantage.com, they have a token stamp maker, and it has been invaluable. You pretty much just drag and drop the picture that you want into the field, and then it can set the size, the shape. It can do border colors and stuff like that, so you can differentiate your token from other players' tokens. I know I'm just saying everything's amazing right now, but truly, the token stamp maker thing online, so much easier than trying to format everything yourself. So that's it for running games, I believe. If you want to watch me struggle as I'm learning things at times, I try to cut out all the really bad stuff. Joe's been helping me with editing too, because it's so long. But you can go ahead and watch some of our campaign running through, what do they call that? A let's play. Don't mind me while I act like a complete and total idiot. It's fine. So that's the game I'm running. And it's been going well so far. There has been a learning curve. Other than Joe, I think I've only played online once. And then my other two friends from work have never played online before at all. In fact, the only Brittany's played D&D one other time with a different group of friends, and then Kim had never played Dungeons & Dragons before she came to play with us at our house. So we're all relatively, I wouldn't say inexperienced, but it's been a very narrow view of what we've experienced. So hopefully that made sense. Words are hard. It's okay. There is one other game I've been playing in online, and that is Eric's game, which you may hear me talk about here and there. Eric is an amazing DM, and he has been able to run some of the more cool stuff. He does a lot of theater of the mind, so we're not actually actively running on Roll20 unless we're in combat, which I really don't mind. It's quite nice. He's running everything that way. He also utilizes D&D Beyond, which I've heard that it can all be linked up, but I had never done it before. So we have D&D Beyond linked to Roll20 on our computers. So then you can just go to your character sheet in D&D Beyond, and if you click on any of your stats, there'll be like a little die that pops up. If you then click the die, it'll roll it for you and add all your modifiers and shit, and then it will throw it into the chat of Roll20. And likewise, if you cast a spell and you click on the spell and it casts it, it rolls. It'll say if there's a DC save, it gives a full description of the spell so that everyone can see it, and then also it will roll damage and attack rolls for you. So it just does it all at once. Everything's right there where everyone can see it, and that's really nice. I do miss rolling real dice, though, I'm not gonna lie. Turned into a dice goblin, in case you haven't noticed recently on the channel. I'm just like, look at these dice, and look at these dice, and I'd like to review this person's dice and these people's dice, and look, more dice over there. I need help. It's fine. We make our own now, so I can just feed my own habit. It's not any cheaper to make your own, just saying. But Eric's game has been lovely for kind of learning to navigate D&D Beyond, so it's expanding my knowledge base as a player and a dungeon master, which I really appreciate. And again, Eric runs amazing games, and if you've never gotten to play in a game with me and you want to, because we don't live anywhere near each other, TsunamiCon is coming up that Eric runs. Registration is open now. I'll throw a link down below. I will hopefully be getting some games up soon for registration. There's several different tier levels for the con. That's on tabletopevents.com, I believe. But I will definitely still throw links below so you can check it out. I know Joe is going to be running a game that is completely set in the Zeldaverse, but he went through and he took all of the pixelated things from the games, and he used those to build his maps in Roll20. He's been working on it for over a week now. He's very excited. It's been all he's been talking about when we get into D&D stuff recently. If you like Zelda and you like D&D, you might want to check that game out. I don't know how many seats he's going to have, but it sounds like it's going to be a ton of fun. So, there'll be that. I think I'm going to do a Zoom chat hangout for the channel at some point, and then me and some of my friends are going to get together and talk about making dice on a different panel type event. So, check out the con. It's gonna be amazing. Back to Roll20. All the online talk this week. The only criticism I have for D&D Beyond and Roll20 and all that stuff is that if you want to utilize book material in D&D Beyond, you have to purchase all of the books. If you're someone like me and you've picked up the books as they've come out, having to buy them a second time is kind of tiresome and irritating because I've already put all of this money into purchasing books. My understanding is that the company that owns the online content is different than the company that owns the published books, so they're sold separately because of that, which I get. It's not my favorite, but it is what it is. If you're going to be running games primarily online, I would just advise that you buy all your books online in the PDF format so that you can have that, they can talk to each other. That's a thing, right? I'm showing my ineptitude at computers so much right now, but it's fine. I'm human. I'm allowed, she said, with absolutely no confidence whatsoever. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody asked me what I'm doing with my life because I don't know. Okay, so there you have it. I feel like I didn't say a whole lot of use. Oh, one other thing. If you're like me and you can't fucking figure shit out online, YouTube is your best friend. As we're sitting here on YouTube, I'm not even gonna lie, when I can't figure out how to do something on Roll20, I just pop that shit into the YouTube search, and there's almost always somebody on OBS working through how to go through the process of setting it up. So anytime I've needed to do something specific, like setting up health bars or accessing different aspects of layering and things like that, just ask YouTube how to do it. Somebody's put up a video giving directions because those of us who need help exist, and I'm very thankful for those who offer it. So if you're one of those people who puts up videos on how to make stuff or how to do things, you're my best friend. I fucking love you. You're great. I think that's everything. I don't think I missed anything. If you can think of anything poignant that I should have talked about that I didn't, please throw that down below. I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. And until next time, keep it rolling, adventurers.